name's Chris Glenn, and this is another edition of How Has the Failing Economy Messed Up Your Life Lately? So, my guest here is...
I'm Ryan. I'm from Cheshire, Mass, if you guys want to know.
It's right out near Pittsfield. So, how has the changing economy affected you? First question. Have you noticed differences in your family and friends' spending habits lately?
Definitely. People in my family have definitely become more frugal. Even something as simple as going to the grocery store is something we try to cut back and go only when we need to. Also, just definitely no unnecessary buying, spending.
Interesting. I've heard that a lot of unnecessary buying.
Yeah, it's very general. Down. It's a very general saying, but not going to the store and then, oh, I like this shirt, let's just buy it for the fun of it.
Yeah, less of that. All right, has someone someone close to you, a friend or family, lost their job recently?
Nobody that I know has lost their job, but my father in particular, he owns a deli, and it's taken a hard hit because their spending habits have been affected by the economy, so they're not going to go every day for lunch and get a sandwich. So his business has dropped. Not very bad, but it's definitely not doing as well as it should be.
Noticeable, yeah, that's a pretty common story. Luckily here in New England we haven't been hit as hard as some other parts of the country, but it's definitely being felt everywhere. So, well, do you think, just since you don't know anyone, do you think that people out there trying to find a job these days, it's a lot harder, and why do you think that is?
I definitely feel like it's harder, at least for people our age, students. Unless you have something really lucrative to offer to the company or to the business or whatever job, the hiring opportunities are definitely slim to none. And like me personally, this year I got laid off from my job that I had for the previous 4 years, and I actually got a security job simply through somebody that I knew. So I had a foot in the door through. I got grandfathered in, if you would.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and have you noticed, like you said, your father's deli hasn't been doing as good as it could be doing? Has noticed a little stress in the family because of it, or?
Definitely. We've seen a few more arguments between all of us, like my sister and my mother and my father, just bickering to each other about money.
Yep.
Because simply it's not there.
Yeah.
We're making ends meet. We're staying on top. We're surviving, but it's not the luxurious life that we've had before.
Yep. Definitely. So, final question. We were still pretty young back then, but in the 90s, do you notice a difference in the general society's attitudes or even your family's towards just life in general, going out there and being a consumer?
Yeah, like you said, we were young, but I definitely felt like it was more stable. You didn't have to worry so much about spending so much money here, or you could go on a vacation and kind of splurge if you really wanted to and not have to worry about it so much.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of girls used to come back from warm places with those braids, and I'm seeing a lot less of that. So.
No, good point. Good
Stuff
point.
Like that.
No vacations.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. This is Chris Glenn again with another edition of How the Failing Economy Has Messed Up Your Life. So, I'm here with my buddy
Sean Clammer.
And Sean, you are from
Adams, Mass.
And what's that, about a half hour outside of Pittsfield?
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes north.
Cool. So, another interview about how the economy has affected you. And first question, have you noticed differences in your family and friends' spending habits?
Oh, definitely. My mother especially has definitely tried to cut back on spending on things that are just like commodities, more or less, trying to focus on just paying bills from month to month, and definitely tries to get out more to see if she can get away from financial difficulties, just to forget about it. But still spending conservatively and finding time to keep track of her finances so she can pay bills.
So, quickly off of that, what kind of stuff does she do, since she's not trying to spend too much money, but she's trying to go out?
Yeah, usually, actually, in the recent months, she's gone to a football game and to like a football game as in, like the New England Patriots. I mean, which
Yeah.
is spending money, but I mean, not too bad. And then like a Fenway game every once in a while, just to try to get out, go across the country. And,
Once in a while, spend, do some big things, because those kind of have a longer lasting effect than say going to the
And I mean,
mall
you
or
kind of want to
something.
make sure you can still have fun. I mean, even though you're in a recession. I mean, people are trying to get out more.
Still America.
Yeah, definitely. You got freedoms.
All right. Do you know anyone who has lost a job in the past year?
Still talking about my mother. She actually just recently got laid off.
Yeah.
Because not mainly because of the recession, but because of a union that was fighting for more pay and actually a more specialized job description, because they found themselves doing all kinds of paperwork that wasn't even relating to what their job should be.
Yeah.
So a union was formed to try to get more pay and then try to figure out exactly what their job description was.
Yeah.
And she was a big part of it, and she found herself taking a leave of absence or being laid off for say because of that. So definitely not a good time to be laid off.
Yeah. Probably not too good a time to ask for more money by the union either.
Right.
But so so even though she's been laid off recently, has it been tough for her to find a job that's like equal paying or higher paying?
Oh, definitely. I mean, she doesn't have much more than just a few years of college experience anyway. So with with her level of education, I mean, there's not many jobs that are jumping out to take position of what she used to have. So she's actually back in school now, taking classes for Excel and stuff to try to get another desk position so she can try to stay doing what she's doing now. She has fairly experienced in that right now. So
yeah. I've noticed that a lot of people have been talking about how community colleges have like spiked in attendance and stuff.
Definitely. A lot of people I know have been going back to school trying to make a better position for themselves in the world.
And stuff. Yeah, definitely. And so we talked about this already. Mom's probably been feeling a little bit of stress from it, but nothing too bad. But some people are probably in a lot of trouble. I feel like it's probably hit a lot harder in like the Midwest and the South.
Right.
But
actually talking about stress and all that. I mean, my father, he finds a lot of stress, and he just bought a house just recently, and he's paying a new mortgage, and he's trying to keep up. He bought a truck, and just to try to have like his everyday commodity, and not trying to go overboard, but still trying to live his life. And it's still like finding himself losing overtime hours like he used to get. And it's not like it's, not like it was before, trying to find yourself cutting things a little short, and, it's just making ends meet, if you want to call it that, and that'll be how it is for my family as of right now.
Yep. And finally, I found this question really interesting myself, since we were both kids in the 90s, but have you noticed like a difference in like how your family acts and how other people act, like with the economy, with looking to like go on vacation or buy that extra car? Or...
Oh, yeah, that's obvious. I mean, my family always has have worries about how the future's gonna be for money and all that, and I mean definitely since the late 90s and early 20th century, 21st century. It's just, but I feel as if like it's not really the biggest thing to worry about, just because there's always going to be money going into it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been something that's...
There's a lot of issues like that that just compile up.
Like people that aren't really, educated about Social Security and like the government and what they do with our tax dollars are always worrying about the Social Security thing that's come up, so many times in the past years. But I feel as if like that's definitely a big part of the recession. It's going to scare a lot of people into thinking they got to save every penny they make.
Well, I feel like they might still have to. It might be in a little trouble. Yeah. I mean, it will fix itself, I would think, but we might be in a little bit of trouble.
That's definitely true, and all we can think about is that, seeing that the baby boomer generation is so large, that there's going to be so many seniors that are going to be getting Social Security, but we got to remember that all those baby boomers also had children.
Yep.
Most of them at least, and at least 2 or 3 kids. Like the average household has 1.3 children. So, like, you got to think about
that. Where's the other 0.7 of the kids?
Well, that's just an average,
right.
I mean, it should be evened out, but that'd be lying.
Yeah.